So I didn't realize that my audio wasn't working again until after I got back. So I'm going ahead and doing the audio portion of my speech again without audience members. I'll go ahead and include the first two videos. I had one video that didn't record audio at all, that cut out when my computer did a update and reset my computer in the middle of my speech during the conclusion, and then I will also include a video of me redoing the conclusion in front of my audience, which did have audio, which is the reason why I didn't catch the fact that I didn't have audio for my first one. But yeah, I'll go ahead and do the audio portion now and hope that I can get some form of credit for posting all of them together as one. My name is Colin Turk, and with rising gas prices and limited fuel reserves, transportation that utilizes other forms of storing and releasing potential energy is becoming more and more important. We need to develop new technologies and utilize them if we are to survive the century. Electric vehicles are quickly becoming a viable source of transportation, and it is making more and more sense to adopt them on a large scale. I have studied electric vehicles for over 5 years, and I believe they are one of the solutions for the problem of overdependence on oil. Today I will be discussing why electric vehicles are a potential solution. Oil is not viable long term. Production is becoming more and more dangerous and expensive. Most of the oil that is easy to extract is already gone, which only leaves the much more dangerous forms of drilling, like deep underwater sites, like Horizon, the BP spill. These types of drilling are dangerous and have a much higher likelihood of creating a natural disaster. Reserves are also limited. According to the Institute of Mechanical Engineers, we only have enough oil reserves to meet America's current oil demands for 40 years. Now, by 2020, production will be reduced to 20% of consumption. So we have already passed the point at which we will have maximum oil production, where we produce more oil than we consume. Carbon emissions from burning oil are also warming the planet and changing our environment for the worse. So continuing to burn these oil reserves may not be in our best interests as a species. But electric vehicles can massively reduce our oil overdependence and can reduce the amount of oil that we consume. They operate by using batteries that have stored electric energy and then run them through an AC motor. These batteries can be charged by renewable energy sources. So even if you're not burning gasoline, there's the argument that in an electric car, that's still being burned somewhere, and then you're just using that electricity. But that's not completely true. By using energy that has been produced from solar or nuclear power, you can then charge these electric cars with the energy that these plants produce and have absolutely zero emissions and zero carbon footprint for every mile that you drive. Even if we were to use coal plants to create the power that went into the batteries that the electric vehicles then used, the amount of carbon that is released in a coal-fired plant per mile that you then get of movement in your car is at a rate of 25% the amount of CO2 emissions that you would get if you were just burning the gasoline by itself. So even still, if we were to use only coal plants, using electric vehicles would reduce our carbon emissions and reduce our dependence on oil. Now, electric vehicles are also becoming more practical, so it makes more sense to buy them as a consumer. According to Tesla Motors, by the year 2017, they will come out with a Model 3, which is a economy car that will have over 300 miles of range, be under $35,000, but also have a performance that is comparable to current sports cars. And not just regular sports cars. I'm talking 0 to 60 in under 4 seconds, which is comparable to a Ferrari F430 or a Lamborghini Gallardo in an economy class car. We're also able to increase the performance by using electric vehicle technology, because magnetically operated motors have 100% torque at 0 RPM and can spin to extremely high RPM rates. And because of this, we can make electric vehicles that last longer than traditional automobiles, because there's only one moving part, and that's the drivetrain. There is no gears, and there is power on demand, and that's something that no gasoline car can ever produce. Battery technology is also improving and becoming cheaper. Recently, according to the Department of Energy, Tesla has broke ground and on their Gigafactory, which will produce the same amount of lithium-ion batteries as every other manufacturer of batteries in the world combined. This plant should start producing at full volume within the next 2 years. And this will drop the prices of the most expensive part of the electric cars, which is the battery. The Model S by Tesla has already shown that electric vehicles are viable and can be made to outperform other vehicles in its class. The only barrier to market right now is the cross-country driving, long-distance driving, because you only have a 300 and some mile range. If you wanted to go on a long road trip, you'd have to have a way to charge the vehicle. And currently, outside of your home, the only way to do that is with the supercharging stations by Tesla. And right now, it is already possible in an electric car to drive from Los Angeles to New York on nothing but the supercharging stations that Tesla have already put up. But within the next 3 years, that network will expand greatly. And this will allow people an opportunity to charge their vehicles on trips. Another barrier to market, which is a reason why we haven't seen this technology sooner, is that right now the cost of a Model S is over $100,000. So it doesn't necessarily justify purchasing the car for saving on gas prices. However, when the Model 3 comes out, using the technology and the data that they've accumulated from the Model S line, we should see electric vehicles that are affordable and more readily available. Because with the business practice of Tesla, electric vehicles have been proven to be a viable solution to the oil problem. And with an increased demand for electric vehicles, there will be a change in the perception of the market and a push to mass produce them in an economically viable way, because people will want them, and then it will be inevitable. The more electric cars that are on the road, the less demand there will be for oil, which means we will use less of it. If we partner renewable energy sources with electric vehicles, we can reduce the amount of oil we need to 0. This will preserve our planet's ecosystem and ensure that we don't need to pay more and more to travel, and there will be no need to continue to participate in dangerous oil-producing activities that can lead to natural disasters. Thank you.